What's up, guys? What's up, guys? I want to welcome you guys back to my channel. So this time I'm always touching my hair. I don't know. So this time I'm actually going to do something a little different that something that I never usually do on my channel, but I actually wanted to start doing anyways. I'm gonna give you guys a little story time. The only thing is, the only reason why I've always been a little like subjective, if that's the word, subjective of doing this, or like a little, oh, this glare is a little crazy, a little like iffy about doing this, because I suck at telling stories. So, and plus my life is not that interesting, so I'm not really sure what to talk about, but I do have one thing that I feel like is pretty interesting, or like sort of interesting with my life, and I want you guys to get to know me a little bit more on a personal level. So I'm like, okay, what's better than tell you guys a little bit of stories about me. So what this story time is going to consist of is those of you who know me personally know this story, and like about like what happened when I was in college, my roommate situation. Okay. Like, so me personally, I'm not a confrontational type of person, so I don't really run into problems with people really ever. I think I've only had problems, and I won't even say problems, because every time I bring this up now, they say that it's not even anything. But like the only confrontation or situation that I had with anyone was when I was in elementary school, and I fought like some boy, but he says that we didn't fight, but whatever. I beat him up, but he says that it didn't happen. But he was bleeding. No, I was bleeding. Whatever, that's a whole different story. But yeah, I'm not a confrontational person, so I don't really mix myself up with drama and stuff. That's what's happening. But this was like my first time where I had to deal with like, okay, so let me just start from the beginning. So, it was my first year of college. Well, my first year of college. I was a freshman. And you know how, you have roommates. And what happened with us, we were supposed to be where they had our dorms at, we weren't supposed to be there because they weren't for freshmen. But I guess like they had a whole floor for freshmen, because it was actually a lot of people, who decided to dorm that semester, or just dorm in general, so they didn't have room in like the other ones. So we got pushed into the good rooms. So I'm happy because I'm like, oh, we got a whole living room, we got a kitchen, we got all this stuff. So I'm like, oh, it's gonna be cool. So I'm like, oh gosh, I'm kind of scared about like who my roommates are gonna be. But I was happy about one, because like one of them was like my best friend from high school or whatever. What they always say, don't room with your friends. But that's like we're good though. There's nothing like that. But they always say don't room with your friends, and there's always a reason why they do that. Then again, I don't know, because I can't really agree with that no more, because I live with one of my best friends now. So I don't know. But I guess because we were young and like we were stupid and like naive or whatever. So, like anyone else, you want to know who you're living with. So, I'm researching, I'm going on Facebook, I'm checking out to see who these people are, whatever. I look at them, okay, they seem like they're cool, no problems, like, okay. I mean, one of them, I thought she looked like she was a little mean. But, I don't know, I like that. I feel like, okay, hey. So, everything was cool. We get there, and we're meeting each other, getting to know each other. Everything's cool. Like, we all getting along, no problems. For a while, actually, we were all getting along, no problems. Now, me, I'm the type of person, I was the type of person, because I live 15 minutes away from my school. So, I would hardly be there. Like, I would either always go home for work. I worked at Wendy's at the time. So I'll always be back and forth, because I worked on the weekdays, too. I didn't only work on the weekends. So I was always there, and I'm like, Wendy's was literally at the corner of my house. So once I left work, I would come home. Like, I was hardly even there to sleep. So, when I was there, I would always bring my boyfriend. Well, my boyfriend at the time, which, disclaimer, not my boyfriend anymore. That's the boyfriend that I did my boyfriend tag with. I actually want to talk to you guys about that, too, if you want to know more about the situation, or like whatever. But yeah, so my boyfriend at the time, so I was always with him. Like, we all got along though. Like, there was really no problems. One of them was like really fun and crazy, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. And I actually really got along with all of them. And maybe this was the problem. There was me and my best friend. We roomed together, but we had another roommate. And then our suite mates, there were 2 other girls, whatever. And yeah, but like, no, we thought that everything was good, no problems or whatever. But and then I feel like after a while things started to get a little shady. And it's crazy because like in the beginning, and it was mainly like what the whole reason what people say that people argue with when you're in school is because like what was it, like being cleanliness. Like we had like a meeting about that before we roomed together, because they even said that there was like, whenever people are always fighting and they get into these disputes and like fighting because of like cleanliness and like problems and stuff like that. So far like we had a routine of like when who would clean what day and stuff like that, whatever. So I'm like, all right, we doing it. And then I guess one day, I don't know what happened, I don't know why. Like, I don't know why, but first of all, I'm never there. At the time I was never there or whatever. And then they will always try to blame stuff on me, like anything that was a problem or like a mess, whatever. And I remember this one time, and they tried to blame it on me, which was true. But and then it was like, wait, okay, let me just tell you guys. It was one time I was sick, right? I had a hangover. And like, it was my first time ever having like a really, really bad hangover. So my boyfriend bought me food. So, you know, I'm in bed, like not even in bed, I'm on the couch, like throwing up, sick as fuck or whatever. And he gives me food, and then I couldn't eat it because like I'm full or whatever. So I'm like, okay. I gave it to one of the girls, and I'm like, yeah, no, you can have it or whatever. She eats it, and she leaves like the dishes in the sink or whatever. So and then one day they tried to have a meeting, and I guess they tried to blame everything on me, and that was one of the things they brought up. They was like, oh, you leaving dishes in the sink. And I'm like, wait, whoa, I gave that to you. Like, why I gotta clean up your dish after you ate it? Like, no, it was my food from the beginning, but once you start scarfing that up, that's yours. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And I guess, like, they was already having problems talking about, like, saying stuff, like, basically trying to blame mad shit on me. And I still, to this day, I don't know what it was or whatever. And so that was one. I guess that's how it all started, how they started to, we started not to really get along that much, because they would try to say that I was dirty, I was a mess, blah, 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 blah. And then there was this one day, my friend, she had a birthday party. I feel like this was the day everything just took a 360. Well, we threw her a party, like, in our dorm, and then, like, we went out to, like, some frat houses or whatever, just to take her out and, like, have a good time. She's drunk. Like, she had a good time. She's drunk, lit, whatever. And then one of the girls, and this is the one that I mainly had a problem with. Everyone else I didn't really have a problem with. This was the main one that I had a problem with. And one of the girls, because of this day, one of the girls, she got really, like, drunk. We all, like, trashed or whatever. Not trash, but we all like drunk, whatever. So she got us kicked out of this party because she was being like real belligerent and like ratchet, and people wasn't really messing with it. So like, all right, we're gonna go. And oh wait, I wanted to say this before. And the crazy thing is, like, before, like my boyfriend at the time, like, I used to always tell him, I used to be like, oh, whenever, and I feel like I'm too nice to people, and people try to say because I'm nice they think I'm fake, because they tried to throw that in my face before, and I'm like, no, I'm genuinely a nice person. I'm not a confrontational person, so like when someone's coming for me, most of the time I don't even notice it, because it's just like I don't really care. Only time I'm gonna care is if you physically put your hands on me. You can say whatever you want to me, you can do whatever you want to me, whatever, but I'm just like, whatever. But like my boyfriend at the time, I would tell him, I was like, because this girl, she had a problem with her. And I'm like, oh no, that's my roommate. So I'm thinking, roommates, that's my friends, like, we got each other back. So I'm like, if anything happens to her, I'm gonna be there for her or whatever. And then like my boyfriend at the time, he was like, no, don't do that. He was like, they're not your friends. And I'm like, what do you mean they're not my friends? This was before all of this. I just wanted to clear this. I wanted to put this in there. I meant to put this in the beginning, but I forgot to say it. But he was like, those are not your friends. He was like, you hardly know these girls, and you're being like mad nice, and you're trying to like have their back, and you don't even know if they'll have yours. And I'm like, nah, we all roommates, we cool, like, it's whatever. So, rewind back to where we were. So my friend, she was having a party. Well, we threw her a party, and like we took her out, blah, blah, blah. So the girl, she's drunk as heck. And then she starts going off on all of us. She starts going off on everybody. And then, well, not going off, but she was like being slick at the mouth. And I'm like, oh, like what? Like, who you talking to? Like, stuff like that, whatever. And then at one time I was driving, and I remember this. I'm really bad at telling stories. But I remember, like, we were driving. Me and my best friend was in the car, and I think she was in the car and someone else was in the car. I don't remember who else was in the car. But I think she told me, like, I don't know what we were talking about, but then she just told me, she was like, shut the up or whatever, like going off. And I was like, oh, I stopped the car and I'm like, who you talking to? And then like this whole, it just got real crazy from there. But and then we got home. We're like drunk, so we all apologize to each other. We're like, okay, yeah, no, you're drunk, I understand. Maybe you're just saying stuff because like, maybe you're just saying like whatever, all this whatever, because you're drunk. We drunk and we don't need to be like fighting and arguing, or possibly because she was about to get dealt with in the car. That was but yeah, so that happened. And then from the party, this another thing I would say that we were like messed up about, but we were drunk, so of course at the time we not gonna clean this shit up. Like we all go to sleep and then it's still a mess or whatever. And then I feel like that was like another thing like they complained about or whatever. And what else happened? I just know that basically they were trying to claim that I was dirty and I was fake and all this shit. And I'm like, how if I'm never there? And one thing that they did say about me, which I do agree with, which I feel like was my fault. Cause like, girl, when you have a boyfriend or whatever, and like that was really like my best friend at the time. So like I was with him all the time. So he would always come to our dorm room or whatever. And there was even a time like, and I didn't tell him to do this. So that ain't my fault. But there was a time that like, I think he had one of my keys for a time, like for something that happened. And then he just walked in there and like, I think he took a shower or some shit, something like that, whatever. And like they brought that up to me, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's wrong. Like he shouldn't have done that. Like this isn't his house. She was just like, basically what he said. She was like, oh, you don't know us that. She was like, you can't really always just be trusting girls with like your boyfriend, or whatever. Not saying that I'm gonna do anything, but like stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. And it was just wrong for me to just always have him coming over, like without even asking, because I wouldn't ask. Like I would just be like, this is my house too, so you can come. But that was just disrespectful. So that I would definitely take. But being messy and all this stuff, that wasn't even what it was. So that's what happened, whatever. And then there was this one day, me and my boyfriend, we were going through it. Like we had, like there was this whole situation that happened, and I was like really emotional, and I was just like, I was so down. So we were talking and we went to like go get some food or whatever. And then I go on Twitter. No, actually there was a time before that. She was talking, one of the girls, the main girls that I had a problem with. She was talking junk on Twitter. I'm thinking that she's talking about like my best friend or whatever. So I'm like, we're all in the house together. And then I'm thinking that she's talking about her, and I'm like, oh, I'm letting my best friend know that I think she's tweeting about you or whatever. And she's like, oh, I don't know what she said. I told you, I'm bad at telling stories. But, oh, what she said, blah, blah, blah. And then all I heard, my boyfriend was in the room, and all I heard was the other girl that I didn't really have a problem with. I actually really liked her. The other girl, she was like, go home, whatever. And I'm like, who's she telling to go home? So, and then, I mean, I feel like, because I'm pretty sure that after the situation, like, with that, like, when they said that, blah, 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 I really, but, oh my God. She was telling basically she was screaming for my boyfriend to go home or whatever, like, just to, for no reason. Just like, go home, whatever. So, and then I started screaming back. I was like, go home, trying to be funny. Like, go home. And then she didn't say nothing at the time. And then I think the next day she was like, she was like, were you saying like, go home? And then I was like, yeah, I was saying go home. And she was like, oh, I wasn't saying that about you. I was saying that about like your boyfriend. And like what I'm thinking, I'm like, if you're talking to him, you're talking to me. Like if you're talking to him, you're talking to me too. So it's like, whatever. So that was one other situation. So I'm like, all right, so clearly we're something. And then there was another time, like when I heard them like laughing and like talking, and I you know how you have that gut feeling when you feel like someone's talking about you. So I'm like, okay. So I go in the room and I'm like, what's so funny? I want to laugh too. And they're like, oh, nothing, we're not talking about nothing. I'm like, what? I want to laugh. Like, what's so funny? And then they're just like, oh, nothing, blah blah blah. So rewind back, because I'm all over the place. So rewind back to the time like when I was eating with my boyfriend, because we were like going through it, whatever. So she was talking, she said something, she was like, I forgot what she said on Twitter, but basically she was like, oh, bitches be, I I don't know. This is how you know that it's not that relevant in my head that much, because I really don't remember that much. I just know that that was my only problem that I ever had in my life. So she was just talking junk on Twitter. So I'm on campus and she's in the room. She's in our dorm. So I'm like, okay, I'm so sick of this girl talking junk to me on like whatever. But I'm not, like I said before, I'm not the type of person to fight. I'm not a fighter. I'm not the type of person to fight. I will fight if I need to fight. If you physically put your hands on me, I go there and to confront once again. I'm like, were you talking junk to me on Twitter? And it was her and the girl that I didn't have no problem with. It was her and the girl that I didn't really have a problem with. So we're going at it and whatever. And she's like, oh, you always thinking someone's talking about you, blah, 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 blah. And then they brought up the situation. This is what confused me. They brought up the time that I just told you guys about when they said that they weren't talking about me. And then they just said that they were, then they brought up saying that, oh yeah, we were talking about me. And then when I said, oh, you guys were talking about me. And she's like, oh, nobody was talking about you. And I'm like, you just said you were talking about me. That's what, I just get so confused. But, so we were going at it, whatever. So, that's when that other girl, she started getting aggravated because she was like, wasn't nobody talking about you, blah, blah, blah. She's like, you annoying, you aggravating, like, you just getting on my nerves, like, get out, whatever. And I'm like, me, the type of person that I am, obviously, I'm not good with arguments, and I'm not good with, like, stuff like that. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna leave. Like, I'm gonna just sit here, I'm gonna stand here, whatever. And, I don't know, from one thing led to another, like, it escalated real quick. But nobody, like, put their hands on nobody. But it escalated real quick. And then the girl, she had like iced tea and she threw it, like she thought we was in the bad girl's fucking house. She took it and she threw it over my head. And like I said before, I was like going through some stuff. So I was just like real like emotional. So it like, I was just like, what? Like I was so confused. I was like, what? And then I wanted them. I think I was like, hit me. Like I want you to hit me. Like whatever. And nobody hit me. Like I said, because I'm the type of person, I can't just throw the first punch. Like I'm not a person that's just gonna fight you. If I really feel like you touch me, that's the only time that I really feel like that I can physically fight you. So I don't know what happened after that. I just know, I think she took my case off my phone and she threw it, or she threw my phone or something out, like out of the room or whatever. So like I go get my phone and like they close the door and like I'm knocking on the door. I'm like, open the door, blah, 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 blah. Cause I'm like, all right, I'm over this. My boyfriend, me and my boyfriend, we were eating and like I left him. I was like, I'll be back. So when I left, he thought I was using the bathroom, but it took longer than like what happened. So I came back, I had like iced tea all over me. He's like, what happened? He was like, we about to go back there. And I'm like, nah, I don't even want to deal with this. Cause like, I'm like, we're in like, come, like me, like I feel like I'm just too mature for like my age. So I'm like, I'm not thinking, and then plus I ain't trying to get jumped. There was 3 girls in there that did not like me. All of a sudden, I don't know when this girl, the one that I liked, stopped liking me. But I think it was because like a guy that she liked me. But me being the person that I am, I didn't talk to him. And I told him, I was like, because I know somebody that likes you. But people don't look at that. People just be like, oh, like thinking that you a bad person when I never even did anything. And then my other roommate, I mean, my actual roommate, she wasn't really in it that much, but I know that she was still talking shit about me. I know she was still like a part of it, like talking junk, whatever. So after that, I went back to my boyfriend, and he's like, oh yeah, we about to go back, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, nah, it's not even worth it. Like I don't care. Like I'm still gonna face them, whatever. I'm gonna go there. Like it's nothing to me. Like these people mean nothing to me. So alright, so I'm still like dorm or whatever. But then it was just like, it got to a point when I'm just like, bruh, like we're in college. This is not the bad girls club. Like you guys think this is the bad girls club. So whenever I would walk in, they're like, oh yeah, don't open the door for her. Like stuff like that, whatever. And I'm just like, whatever. So eventually, this may seem like a beat move, like a vagina move. But eventually I ended up like, not dorming anymore. Because first of all, I was never there. So I was already considering not dorming anyway, but I just cut that shit short because I was not beaten for just constantly hearing like bitches talk about me and stuff like that. We too grown for that. And then it's like, I'm not gonna fight you and possibly lose my education, because that's what I'm here for. I don't know about everybody else, but that's what I'm here for. So I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna just go home, whatever. So I ended up going back home, not dorming anymore. I had to come back to sign like some papers or whatever. When I went in there, let me tell you, I went in there, that house, that room smelled like some crazy stuff, and it was a hot ass fucking mess. So when I walked in there, I'm like, clearly your problem is still here, but I ain't gonna say nothing because I ain't gotta live here no more. And she just over here blaming it on all the people, but whatever. And yeah, so that was basically it. So my roommates were like really terrible my first semester. And then after that, I just never dormed again. And I feel like ever since then, it's just like I stopped being nice. I didn't stop being nice to people, but I stopped like really trying to befriend people that I don't really know, because I feel like I give people too much of myself, and then it's like they try to throw it back in my face of me probably being being fake when that's really who I am. And I don't know, but it was just crazy. But karma's a bitch, whatever. That was in the past, but yeah, that was my story time. I don't, hopefully I explained it good enough for it to understand, for you guys to understand what happened. I don't know. So hopefully if you guys liked my story time, I will definitely be willing to tell you guys more. Anything you guys want to know about me. My life is not that exciting. Like I said, I'm not a confrontational person, so you probably won't hear that much of a drama, like drama sense type of stuff, because I'm never really mixed into drama. I'm nosy, but I'm never the one in it. So I hope you guys like this story time. If you guys had any crazy roommate situations, because I know roommates can be like, like everyone you run into, so like some crazy roommates. So if you guys had any crazy roommate situations, I definitely would love to hear that. Definitely let me know. And if there's anything that you want to hear from me, or any videos that you want to see from me, feel free to message me, let me know, and I'll be down to do them. I'll see you guys later, and I love you. Bye.